Hi folks, welcome to this second video on the inductive and deductive reasoning homework. And in this video, we're going to take a look at question number 8, as well as question number 12 and question number 15, okay? Now you may have a different variation of these questions, but hopefully these will help you figure out what you have. All right, so question 8 says, identify the following as either an example of inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning. And so before I read the question, I'm actually going to look at what they tell me inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning is, okay? So they say that inductive reasoning is you see a pattern and then you make a conclusion based on the pattern. Okay. So the trick here is you see the pattern and then you decide what to do based on that pattern. Now, the other kind of reasoning is called deductive reasoning. And deductive means you already had some rule or something that you used to get the conclusion. Okay, so maybe we write this down. Deductive, spelling, you already had a rule. And then inductive, you use a pattern you see first. Okay, so knowing that that's the difference, let's now read the word problem that we have. It says, Lewis has noticed that the stock market has gone up the Friday before each of the last 3 holidays. He plans to buy stock on the Friday before Labor Day to cash in on this trend. So, what I hear in this question is that Lewis has noticed a pattern. And based on this pattern, he's going to do something like buy the stock. Okay. Since he's using a pattern that he saw, this one is an example of inductive reasoning. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at question 12. All right. So, similar idea. We want to decide whether something is inductive or deductive reasoning. Okay. So Emily estimates that if she can average 50 miles per hour, she will reach San Diego in 5.5 hours. Now, one thing I notice here is there's no mention of a pattern. That she doesn't say, like, oh, well, usually when I go to San Diego, it takes me 5.5 hours. So this time it will also take me 5.5 hours. She's saying that there's a rule, this average 50 miles per hour that she can drive. And then based on that, she knows how long it might take her to get to San Diego. So this one is an example of deductive reasoning. Okay, so it's a little bit different from example 8, where we had a pattern that Lewis noticed. But in this case, Emily has a rule. She already had a rule, and now she's making a conclusion based on that. Okay. So hopefully that helps you decide which one is going to be which. But I thought we would finish off this video with example number 15 because there's a few different examples in there so we can actually practice a little bit more together. Okay. All right. Oh, example number 15. It says determine if the following examples are inductive or deductive reasoning, and then we want to explain. Okay. And so before we actually answer those questions, let's just make a note for ourselves that deductive, you already have a rule. Okay. Versus inductive, you look at a pattern. Okay. Or you notice a pattern. Okay, so let's take a look at the first example here. It says, Dan's lips got swollen the last 3 times he ate strawberries, so he thinks he's allergic to them. Now, poor Dan, it sounds like he's got some information that helps him find a pattern in things. So my guess is this is going to be inductive reasoning because the pattern is the last 3 times he ate the strawberries, it didn't go so well for him. Okay. And our explanation is he recognized a pattern and made a conclusion. Okay. This would be kind of like if you notice that I have, for example, I have a friend who is allergic to pineapples, but the reason she figured out she was allergic to pineapples is that her tongue got itchy every time she was eating pineapples. So to me, that's like inductive reasoning. It wasn't that someone told her she was allergic, she noticed some things that were happening and then made a conclusion based on that. Okay. All right. Next question. As you read the mystery thriller And Then There Were None, you are keeping track of the author's clues to solve the mystery. Okay. So now it's not that you're running sort of experiments, but you're looking at the rules or the facts that this author had laid out to make a conclusion, to solve this mystery. Okay. So I would argue that you are using facts to make a conclusion, and we know that that is deductive reasoning. Okay. All right, last one here. The Utah Jazz have won 50 of their games this season, so they will probably win their next one. Well, that sounds like you are recognizing a pattern and making a conclusion off of that. And that, my friends, is inductive reasoning. Okay? So I hope this video helps you figure out the differences between inductive and deductive reasoning. But if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon.